Let's talk about my triggers as someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Family, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Eleanor, your favorite toxic YouTuber, and this is Dismissible Me, where I speak only about dismissive avoidant attachment from the perspective of someone who's had a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Like, share, and subscribe. Find me on Instagram. All of my information is down below in the description box, and check the playlist. Family, 6 triggers for me as someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Numero uno. Anything that makes me feel trapped, okay? Public displays of affection, unexpected displays of affection, I love yous, hugs, being put on the spot, asking me questions. How do I feel? Where are things going? Where am I at? Trapped. Put on the spot. Wait, hold on. I thought we were just having a good time. I thought everything was light. Why is it getting so heavy? You know? Because I'm big on my personal space, which I'll get to later on. But it's also... every one of those things, public displays of affection, the kissing, the I love yous, the being put on the spot, all of those things are like, they're things I'm uncomfortable with as somebody who really values my personal space. And if I don't invite you into my personal space, I don't want you in it, you know? Another thing that makes me feel trapped is codependent energy, asking for a lot of reassurance. Again, where is this going? Where are you at? You know, I can't stand when somebody says, I can't read you. Don't read me, just ask, you know, the right time in the right place, of course. But it's also lack of personal space. If I'm not inviting you into my personal space, do not just assume that I want you there. One thing that really blows my mind are the people that think that a first date is a time to get physical. What if I hold your hand on a first date? What if you don't? You know what I mean? What if you didn't do that? What if you just kept your hands to yourself? You know, use the same rules as Cedar Point. Keep your hands and feet to yourself in the vehicle, you know. Welcome to America's roller coaster. Yeah. Not respecting my personal space, and not just physically, but also emotionally. Don't be trying to put me on the spot. Just because you feel like you want to share and be vulnerable with me, I appreciate that, and I don't take that lightly, but that doesn't mean because you've decided to share something that I'm also in that moment wanting to share. These are things that if I'm not prepared to have a deeper emotional conversation, it's just going to totally make me feel uncomfortable. So anything that makes me feel trapped, triggering, makes me want to run. Being asked to open up, which I kind of just touched on with if you're vulnerable, asking me to be vulnerable. Like, I'm a person that when I am ready to be vulnerable with somebody, I will open up and share with you. But before I'm ready to do that, I'm just not going to do it. And it's one thing when somebody asks me, you know, the first time to open up, and, you know, I give them that I'm not ready because I'm not ready. You know, clear, plain English. The only language I really speak, you know, a little bit of French, you know, but not enough. I'm going to clearly tell you that, you know, I'm not comfortable with that yet. After the third one, the fourth one, now I know that you don't respect my boundaries. Because for me, if I tell you that I'm not ready to talk about something and you are, and it's just not moving at your pace, then it's a one last conversation, or maybe even it's time for you to move in a different direction. I'm totally okay with that. I don't want to feel like I'm losing my autonomy. Like, you're asking me to open up, but what am I keeping for myself at that point? I also feel like there was a point in time, not necessarily now, but I have another channel for that, and I'll be announcing that later. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Shameless plug. there's a part of me that feels like being vulnerable or talking about certain things or opening up, it, depending on the topic of conversation, can be a point of weakness. And so I don't necessarily want to give up. I don't want to give up anything to which this person can come attack me with information and I was being vulnerable with them. Disgusting behavior. I also don't want to sign up to constantly or set an expectation of regular vulnerability for me. And I touched on that earlier. Just because you decided that you're ready to be vulnerable and share certain things doesn't mean that I'm in that same place with you at that moment in time, or that every time that you feel like you want to be vulnerable and share, that it's also time for me to share. Like, it's show and tell. It's not show and tell. Like, I'm here for you. I'm listening. I'm a great listener. I'm an active listener. I'm going to remember what you said forever and ever and ever. But that doesn't mean that just because you told me something and I'm supporting you, right, and hearing you out and being a shoulder for you to cry on, it doesn't mean that I want to wipe my snot on your sleeve next. It doesn't mean that. So being asked to open up also makes me feel trapped. It's just like, whoa, wait on, hold on. Hands up, don't shoot. Why are you asking me to be vulnerable? And we were just having a good time. Everything was light. Why'd you have to take it there? Why'd you have to ruin things? And then it's expectations of constant communication. This is what gives me a lot of anxiety. I don't necessarily feel trapped about this. This gives me high anxiety because I know that when I'm very focused on certain things, or if I personally just don't have any energy to give, I'm not going to respond in a timely fashion. If you know me, you know I typically, I'm on my phone, and if you hit my phone up, I'm going to respond to you very quickly. Even if it's just a, hey, I saw this, I'm busy right now, I'm going to talk to you later. I'm going to see it. Let me rewind. If you're close to me, I'll shoot you that little message. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to respond to you when I have the time to respond to you. Because if I care about you, I don't want to give you low energy, right? I don't want to give you low energy Eleanor, because that's not the best of me. So this idea of constant communication, daily, every other day, madness, multiple times in the same day, like we don't have lives of our own, it raises my anxiety, because it's like, I know I can't keep up with that. Me as somebody, when I first start to talk to you, date you, I do not overly communicate. I'm not going to communicate with you more at the beginning than I can consistently do long term. So I'm a once in a week girly. I don't need anything more than that. Not that I am totally turning my nose up to more contact than that. That's not the thing. But I set the bar very low for a reason. Because if you ask me for every day, you're hitting up my phone and I just gave you my number, I think you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. What's going on with this person? They're going to try to lock me down, and I'm still not going to know how I feel about this particular individual. I don't want to be dating somebody who's not going to be able to let me go, because it almost seems like somebody may be emotionally unstable. Just give me a little bit of time. Don't expect me to constantly communicate with you immediately. Like, I have to grow to get to know you and want to communicate with you more. So then there's numero quattro, which is unpredictability in a partner. Cannot do it. Can't do it. You being unpredictable, on again, off again, popping in and out, emotionally unstable, out of control. One minute you're happy, 30 minutes later you're upset. You're highly sensitive. Anything can trigger you. I don't want any parts of that. That, to me, that high sensitivity, you take yourself too serious, it's a no for me. It's an absolute no for me. Emotions, expectations, and or behaviors that are inconsistent, non-negotiable. Can't do it. I'm going to cut you immediately. Can't do it. Because I'm not going to be inconsistent like that. Again, as I just mentioned with the expectations of constant communication, one thing about me is I'm going to be very consistent, because I'm going to refer to me what my consistent behavior if you ask me about how little I'm doing, because my thing is I'm going to be stuck on the consistency while you're talking about a lack thereof. So when you're unpredictable, you're unreliable. I'm reliable. I don't want to be around people that I can't trust to be there for me if I'm being there for you. So that's a no. I don't want emotional chaos. I just clock that as somebody who's unsafe. You're a threat to my stability, mental, emotional, and even worse, financial. Woo. Difficulty trusting your intentions when you are emotionally unstable or unpredictable. What are you doing? Are you serious? Are you not? What's going on here? Because one thing about me, I firmly believe that confusion is never a good thing. You're not confused because somebody is being direct. There's an indirectness that is causing the confusion, or there's a delusion there. It's for you to decide what it is. But the unpredictability in a partner, absolute no. You're high risk. I'm going to avoid unnecessary conflict, unnecessary drama, trying to figure out where you're at, looking for you on milk cartons, right? Trying to figure out, are you going to have a freaking emotional breakdown? Do I got to bring some Kleenex when I'm around you? What's going on? No, thank you. Very triggering. That also makes me feel trapped, because some of these unpredictable, emotional people will, rope you in. You're 90 days in, you think this person's safe, you like them, and then boom, they're crazy. Nope, I'll cut you and keep it moving. Number 5 on my list, unexpected vulnerability. And I did kind of touch on this at the very beginning of the video in the feeling trapped, but it's the I love yous, where we at, you sharing and being vulnerable with me, which sometimes it's me projecting that you're wanting me to be vulnerable with you in that particular moment. And there are other moments where we know, be honest with me. It's just me and you right now. We know where the other person is sharing something because they want you to share also. Whether they have good intentions and they're just trying to get me to open up, or whether, it's more sinister and they got personal issues that are deep rooted that we really don't discuss on this particular channel. That's that. It's I may not know exactly how to respond. There was a point in time where I did not have the communication skills to respond to just random acts of vulnerability. They were just like landmines that I was trying to avoid. And then there's, like I already mentioned, I may not want to open up at that time. And the last thing on my list is talks about the future. Talking about doing a lot of things, plans about the future, trips we're going to take, XYZ, especially very early on. Because one thing about me, and I probably should do a video on this, I need to write this down, but I'm going to forget. If somebody could write this in the comments, you would be the real VIP. How I react to love bombing. The love bombing for me, oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. Let's do this. Oh, plan on doing that. Oh, we got to go to Italy. Crazy. Crazy. I've only known you 2 weeks. Be serious. Love bombing for me, always a red flag. Always a red flag. Like, from my perspective, I don't know what makes people feel comfortable believing in the fantasy that they're selling you. Because to me, it always looks crazy. I never get gassed. It's never like, oh, this person really likes me. I absolutely, I do have a little bit of an ego. I will eat it up, but I'm not really taking it in. I'm like, oh, this person's absolutely insane. And I listen. I listen for what they want. If you're quiet, because I'm a very quiet person, believe it or not, people will tell you exactly what they want and what they think about you. The love bombing for me is a absolute no-no. I'm going to back away very slowly. And number 2, as I'm backing away, I'm going to pay attention to, have you done anything that you said that you were going to do? Because 9 times out of 10, after a certain amount of time, these love bombers, okay, very early on, they never were following through. Pay attention. Take notes. It's not going for me. I'll just stop talking to you because I know you're about to, blow hot air right up my butthole, and I don't have time for that. Being too clingy and needy, giving off the codependent vibes, which when I've met men that talk about how many children we're going to have and things like that and getting married very soon, I was never, and please, before you get in the comment section talking about they were nice guys, none of these people were nice people, okay? That I'm referring to right in this moment. They're not. Being codependent and clingy, that's a no for me, okay? I don't need you to, again, get my number and think that we're going to be talking every single day, multiple times a day. Don't get my number and think that I'm going to be sending you pictures of me because you haven't seen me in 48 hours since you first met me. Get a freaking life. Absolutely not. Red flag. Abort mission. Get out of there. Wasted from Grand Theft Auto, because this person's got 5 stars. They got 5 stars. There's nothing you can do with it. I'm also going to feel like if you're doing things like the early talks about the future, unexpected vulnerability too soon, and the PDA, that this relationship, me and you, whatever this could potentially be, is going to be too much effort on my part to keep it up. So my 6 triggers: feeling trapped, being asked to open up, expectations of constant communication, unpredictability in a partner, unexpected vulnerability, and early talks about the future. Family, thank you so much for tapping in. Let me know what resonated for you down below and where you are watching from. Like, share, subscribe, check out the playlist, find me on Instagram. All of my information is down below in the description box. And family, I will be tapping in with you very soon. Keep it real.